Tonight, I return to my Wanderings of an Irishman series, where I'll tell you a personal story about a recent visit to my homeland of Ireland. It's a very calming one, where I'll talk of morning swims in the Irish Sea and of a beautiful and historic harbour that I was swimming in. And so I've called this one The Harbour. I hope you like it. One small thing. If you'd like to support my work, you can do so through Patreon. The link is below this video. Okay, let's do the relaxation session now, which will take a few minutes before tonight's sleep story. I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and as I do, allow yourself to let go more and more. 10. Feel the support of the bed beneath you, or the floor, or whatever you lie upon tonight. And beneath whatever you lie upon, feel the ever-present support of the earth, our home, our constant support. And with the knowledge of that support now, the awareness of it, see if you can allow yourself to let go a little bit more now, to soften a little bit more now, to ease into this moment a little bit more now. 9. You are safe. Allow my voice to be a friend tonight, an anchor of safety, an anchor of trust that will only ever take you to safe places. And with this knowledge, with this safety, ease more into this moment of peace, this moment of rest, this moment that is yours. 8. Peace lives within you. It is a constant friend, for it is always there, just waiting to be seen, waiting to be heard, waiting to be felt. See if you can find your constant friend tonight. And if you do, where does it dwell within you? And when you find it, see if you can feel it throughout yourself, both in your body and in your mind. 7. The day is done. Whatever has been, has been. Whatever will be, will be. Just let go now. Whatever thoughts you might have about what has been, or whatever thoughts you might have about what will come. In this moment, the best way you can serve yourself is to see those thoughts, recognize them for what they are, thoughts, and not you, and let them go, for they will still be there tomorrow. So watch them float away now, like clouds in a starlit sky, or leaves on a moonlit river. 6. This is your moment. This is your time. Enjoy that fact. Enjoy that you have nowhere to be, nowhere to go, by moving towards rest and sleep now. You are doing the best possible thing you can for yourself. Perhaps allow a little coziness in this moment. A feeling that because this is your moment, that you move a little bit more under the covers. A little bit more of a feeling of warmth. 5. Feel into your body now. See where you are still holding. Maybe it's in your feet. Maybe it's in your lower legs. Maybe it's in your belly. Maybe it's in your chest. Maybe your hands. Or maybe your face. Your body has worked hard for you today. It's time to let it rest. 4. Perhaps allow a little gratitude now. Gratitude for the simple things. Gratitude for the shelter you have tonight. Gratitude for life. Gratitude for those you care about. 3. Begin to engage with your imagination now. Begin to see a cozy little harbour on the east coast of Ireland, with an island just beyond it. The sea is calm, and the place is inviting and friendly. 2. Checking in one more time now. Releasing any tension. And 1. Completely letting go now. As I tell you tonight's sleep story. I'm staying in a little place called Dalkey. You might have heard of it, especially if you're Irish. It's where my auntie lives, and my uncle. And even though I'm here for reasons I'd rather not be, the nature around me is quite spectacular. I love the sea. I really, really love the sea. The room that I have in my auntie's house looks right onto it. Literally, right across the road is the Irish Sea. There's something about looking at the sea that does something to the mind. It offers a freedom, an escape, a peace, a feeling of release. My dad isn't well, and so that's why I'm here, to be with him. But with that comes moments of beauty, moments of escape. And you know what? I have learned through all of my years living on this earth that no matter what is happening around me, I must find my daily moments of peace in the day. If not just for myself, for those around me too. And so, allow me to describe to you the calming moments that I experienced recently in Dalkey Harbour. There's a very local feel in this place. There is something to be said for the Irish. Around the world, people know us for being friendly. And being a person who has lived in many places in the world and travelled in many places in the world, I can attest to that fact. That's not to take away from other nations, other people, but there is an immediate familiarity that comes with greeting a stranger in Ireland. Whether you're Irish yourself, meeting another Irish person, or you're from abroad and you're visiting, an Irish person will generally be welcoming and immediately interested in striking up a chat. Normally about not much, but often enough to warm your soul and even make the hairs on the back of your neck rise in that feeling of mutual humanity. So every morning, I would walk down to Dalkey Harbour. It was so close from my auntie's house that I can walk in my bare feet, out the door, down the drive, across the road, down the slipway, the stones beneath my feet. Each step, feeling more and more calm, and with each step, moving closer to a feeling of peace. The water here is very clear. It's inviting. Mind you, it is a little cold, but I like it. I find it rejuvenating. I find that it heals me. In fact, in some ways, I find it more healing than when it's warm. This particular morning, the sun is shining. Not always the case in Ireland, it has to be said. But when it does shine, oh, it's very special. Because, you see, Irish people love the sun. They expect the sun in the summer. But it can often be elusive. But there is something about that in a way is quite special. Maybe I'm being a little optimistic or trying to see the glass half full, as I often do. But when the sun does come in Ireland, it seems to give people a huge amount of joy. More so than it might in the likes of Spain or the south of France. Sure, they always have the sun. There's nothing too exceptional about the sun being out. Anyway, I'm ready to get into the water. My bare feet meet the water like two old friends seeing each other for the first time in a while. I lower myself in, gradually, but not too slowly. I don't like to prolong it. And soon, I am down. The water surrounds me. I am happy. For in this moment, I lose most other thoughts. I am brought to the present. life. I feel that life. I am joyful. Naturally joyful. Naturally high, you might say. For there is no greater pleasure than the feeling of joy given to you by nature. For we are nature, us humans. And so I feel a part of this place. I am literally surrounded by nature. The water of the Irish Sea. A long-lost friend greeting me again. Having spent so much time in landlocked Transylvania, being back on my island is good for my soul. That's not to take away from Transylvania, of course. But when you're from an island, the sea is always a part of your heart. My wife, she loves forests, as do I, of course. She feels more connected to them, though, than I. And I feel more connected to the sea than she. Makes sense, really. Anyway, let me describe this place a little bit more for you now. Dalkey is a little village. It's just south of Dublin City. You can get there by bicycle, car, bus, or indeed the Dart, otherwise known as Dublin Area Rapid Transit. That's a train, in case you didn't know. It offers a lovely view of the coast as you leave Dublin and move south along the train tracks. It's the oldest train line in Ireland, and it's a very special one. And when you get to Dalkey, well, in some ways you could be in any little Irish village, but this one is quite, how should I put it, known for its wealthier inhabitants. Some of the band members of U2 being some of those inhabitants. Anyway, that's beside the point. From Dalkey village, it's a short walk to the sea, and there you'll find the little harbour, which has been a favoured spot for both locals and visitors for many years. It also has beautiful views, and it's very close to several small islands, including Dalkey Island, which is an uninhabited island, and it's just a short boat ride away. I went there with Rebecca while I was there. A nice guy called Neil brought me on his boat. He left us there on the island, and we were the only ones. We had the most beautiful views back towards Dublin and down the south coast of Ireland. I tried to imagine Ireland thousands of years ago as I looked upon the land from the island. What would people have seen as they approached it? It is said that at one point in history, Ireland was nearly completely covered in trees, and if you were a little red squirrel, you could go from tree to tree to tree without touching the ground once, from the north of the country to the south. I love that fact. and so I squint my eyes as I am on the island and try to imagine it, covered in trees, no buildings, just a natural paradise. Anyway, back to the harbour. Now, swimming at Dalkey Harbour is a cherished tradition. Many people have done it for many years. And if you're not from Ireland, you might think, why do they go in the water? In such cold water? I don't really have the answer. All I can say is that you kind of get hooked on it. Once you start, you just can't stop. And there's a kind of community around it. There's a feeling of camaraderie between the swimmers. It's a culture, if you like, and it's only grown in popularity over recent years. There are lots of fish in the water: mackerel, pollock, and sea bass. And there are also seals, which can often be seen lounging on the rocks or swimming gracefully in the water. On top of that, you get these little dolphins called porpoises jumping out of the water. Magnificent to see. Birdwatchers love it there too, for they can watch seabirds, including gulls, terns, and cormorants. The Vikings were here too. They established a settlement in the area. They were taking advantage of the natural harbour for their maritime activities. In fact, it was the Vikings who established Dublin. You can still see ancient buildings there today, and ruins scattered throughout the area. I lie back in the water now, and I just allow myself to float. I allow myself to feel supported by the water around me. I look up to the sky, the blue sky, with the white clouds passing overhead. I breathe in deeply, all the way into my belly, and all the way out again. I witness my thoughts coming and going. I watch the little boats coming and going. I see the birds flying, coming and going. I hear the voices of other people coming and going. And I recognize, in this moment, that I am able to sit as a witness. I don't have to be affected by the things that occur around me. If I can sit in stillness and observe quietly, it is in moments like this that I cultivate that inner peace. It is in moments like this that I grow a little bit more. It is, if you like, a kind of compound interest the more of these little moments that I experience in life, the stronger and more resilient I become. The better I am for myself, and as a consequence, the better I am for those around me. I swim now, moving through the water, feeling my body move, moving as it was born to do. My body is in a rhythm with my breath, and that rhythm is meditative. That rhythm is calming. That rhythm is healing. I take a deep breath, and I feel grateful in this moment. Grateful for my ability to move. Grateful for the life that I have. Grateful for this opportunity of this time in this sea. I leave the sea now. I move towards the slipway and stand and let the water fall off my body. The feeling of being out of the water is as invigorating as the feeling of being in the water now. I towel myself down and I sit. There are no people around anymore. And so, I close my eyes and cross my legs, and I just listen. I listen to the water. I listen to my breath. I feel into my body. I release any tension. I hear the birds. I hear the hum of the energy around me. And I feel at peace. The day passes on. Various things happen. Some difficult, some joyful, some funny, some painful. And then I arrive back at the harbour, and it is late evening time. One of the lovely things about Ireland in the summer is that it stays bright until after 10 o'clock in the evening. And so, at around sunset or thereabouts, I decide to have another swim to end the day. I get into my shorts and I walk outside in my bare feet, feeling the ground and the earth beneath me. And with each step, I let go bit by bit, step by step. The day that was. And soon, I am back with my old friend, the water, the sea, the view of Dalkey Island, almost like a beautiful mirage, sitting atop the navy water of the Irish Sea. And soon I am floating once again. And whatever has bothered me, whatever I need to let go of, I do so in this moment. I breathe in peace, and I breathe out tension and stress and worry, and I breathe in healing, and I breathe out whatever I don't need. And then I swim again, bidding a good evening to my fellow swimmers. That little buzz of shared humanity, bringing a smile to my face as usual. Knowing that we are better together. Knowing that without each other, life is harder. I welcome my fellow humans at this point in my life, at this point in my day. I am happy to see them, happy to engage with them, whoever they are, wherever they're from. And so now, I bid good night to the harbour. I stand out of the water and let the Irish Sea fall away from me. I towel myself down and walk the barefoot walk back to my auntie's house. And it isn't long before I am lying in bed, cozy under the duvet. Even on an Irish summer's night, a duvet can be necessary, which only adds to the coziness of the moment. And as I fall deeper and deeper towards sleep, I keep my old friend, the Irish Sea, and the little harbour close to my heart.